Yeah.
Woohoo! That could have been as scary as your sneeze.
It is Plate and Ponder. It's Plate and Ponder. Empty nesting with Jen and Chris Fenton. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I have to say a shout out to our Oceana people. Do you know where Oceana is? Oceana is down at the bottom of the Risk board game.
Well, thank you actually for telling me because I have zero sense of geography.
Well, guess what? We have
Did we finally make
new
it?
Markets.
What?
Both New Zealand and Australia. Shout out! Yes. Sorry, I just had to groove. It's just so good. It's so good. I'm so psyched. Anyway, we're really pumped up about the fact that we have hit 37 markets for Plate and Ponder Empty Nesting with Jen and Chris Fenton. And yes, I know everybody wants us on Zoom, so we got some video clips to have, and people want to see what the heck we look like and all that kind of stuff. But we're going to get that going. I just need to organize.
Slow roll.
Yeah, this is our chief tech producer.
AKA you.
AKA me, has to find some time to figure that out. And trust me, we'll get there. And plus, we do want to do remote guest interviews because we know that eventually you're going to be sick of us.
No.
No?
No. I'm
sick
not
of me. Sick of me.
I actually was going to say I'm not sick of you.
Okay. Well, I'm just fired up because...
Aren't you proud of me for saying that?
I am. Because that was the one thing that made me the most annoyed
nervous?
is how annoyed you are at me so much.
Oh, that's true.
Right.
That is sort of tangential.
Anyway, I felt like on our Sunday night catch up with the kids, we would have possibly gotten into the annoyed state too. There was a handful of decisions that just weren't being made.
Well, I don't know what it is. Maybe because they're not in our home, but the decision making has sort of like gone to hell in a handbasket, right? Even so much is, hey, when do you think you are going to fly out? Oh, I don't know. And then there's crickets. And then there's like, okay, well, I could come out on Wednesday. And I'm like, Dylan, you have class on Wednesday.
Well, you know what?
But it's cheaper. I'm like, I don't care. He's like, well, and we're going to stop in Philadelphia and then we're going to fly to Phoenix. And I'm like, this is the dumbest flight.
Well, we don't want to ruin it all. This is going to be our serious topic, is the empty nesting topic. The empty nesting, I would say the difference between a fall semester and a spring semester when you're first empty nesting for the very first time, particularly with twins or just if you only have one kid or going through it for the first time. So we're going to hit that. That's going to be our serious topic. But quite frankly, there's other serious topics that are just going to be part of our banter. Like number one, for instance, I'm very happy I got out of Nashville when I did on Friday night because very good colleagues of mine and our brethren, United States citizens across a large swath of the United States of America are caught in quite some pickle in terms of snowfall, ice, sleet, freezing rain, you name it, right?
Oh, yeah, it is just bonkers. In fact, I'm looking at some photos. So a friend of mine in Toronto sent me some photos.
Oh, so we're going, by the way, that's not our brethren. Well, our brethren in the 51st state.
That's exactly
the 51st state of Canada.
Exactly.
Is in the swath also of that storm.
What does swath actually mean?
Swath is like a large mass of different things thrown together, and I'm just trying to encompass it all in a swath.
Was that an SAT word?
I hope it's an actual word. I actually do hope it's a word because I have used it before.
You taught Kaplan SAT. Did you do? I know it's math. Did you do English too, or just math?
Well, for anybody who read my book, I do talk about how I did teach SAT courses to kids in Malibu, and in order to do that, I had to take the SAT at the testing headquarters of that tutor company. Was called Ivy West.
Ivy West. Yes, it wasn't Kaplan. My apologies.
And they had their offices in Marina Del Rey. And I took the test, both math and English. And the guy's like, we really want you to. We saw the test scores. We really want you to teach math, which was great because I was in the mailroom at the William Morris Agency making $300 a week at the time, so I needed an extra income. And I said, okay, great, math, and then I'll also do English. And he's like, no, we're not going to use you for that. I was like, why is that? He's like, yeah, your test score wasn't all that high on the Anderson. Yes, that was a sad trombone. So anyway, that said, how did we get onto that subject? Oh, the swath. So
yes.
Anyway, a very tough time in a lot of the United States in terms of cold weather and tough weather. I think even New York City is getting bombed. Connecticut's getting bombed. I did see.
How are you spelling swath? Because I just typed it in and I'm getting swatch, like the Swatch watch.
Wouldn't it be SWATH maybe? Is that swath? Swath.
Swath is a broad strip
there you
or
go.
area of something,
Ooh.
a row or line of grass, grain, or other crop as it lies when mowed or reaped, like swaths barley. And then you could say phrases, cut a swath through, yeah, or cut a wide swath.
Well, there you go. It was a swath of the country was bombed by Mother Nature. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of the country, honestly. I feel like with the exception of a few states in the West and the North, and don't ask me to name them because as I started this conversation, I'm really bad with geography, but pretty much everywhere in the country is having really cruddy weather. And I feel badly because today was absolutely stunning. We had I think, what did it get up to? 70 degrees? Can I say that without the rest of the world hating me?
Yeah, shout out to Chris Chapin, our dear friend. I went surfing with him today. The waves were probably 3 to 4 feet with lots of dolphin jumping in them. And he did say a couple fish jumped right out over my board as I was making my last wave out. It was one of those magical days, and I got one in yesterday, too, on Saturday, which was fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, I saw that.
You know what's interesting is as I'm hearing our banter go back and forth, Are
you bored?
No, I'm actually, sometimes you sort of put yourself outside of yourself and you are like in this third party perspective. And I was just listening to us talk back and forth and I'm thinking, oh my God, like if Vecna was overtaking Manhattan Beach, you and I could do the pirate radio.
Oh, like Robin.
Yes. And we could give the codes and stuff to help people know where they're supposed to go.
That was the last season. I hope any of the listeners who are listening to us right now have watched all the episodes of the last season. But there was that whole thing where she would play certain music and it would cue up what 11 was supposed to do. And I want it to come back.
You do?
It was really feel good. I don't know if I like the ending. I'll admit it was fine.
Don't you think we would have been good? The only thing we wouldn't have been good at in terms of the whole radio thing and helping the town save the day would be climbing the radio tower to actually fix the antenna.
I'm scared of heights.
That would have been tough.
Yeah, I'm scared of heights. That would never have happened. And I think Flynn would have barked at Vecna and Vecna would have opened its mouth and it would have been like, and it would have eaten Flynn.
I think Vecna probably had really bad breath.
Yeah, it may have encompassed the breath of all the little children that Vecna ate.
Just like Bernie Sanders.
Bernie, so this is something Chris and I joke about. Anytime you watch Bernie Sanders, especially when he was running for president a few years ago, in any interview, now obviously I wasn't sitting next to him, but it just felt like he had really bad grandpa breath.
Yeah.
Right?
Uncle Bernie. Uncle Bernie. Oh, we love when Uncle Bernie comes over. He always brings a fun trinket for us and everything. But please,
and gives you $1 and you think it's really exciting.
Yeah, but don't have him breathe on you because it's just bad breath. And by the way, Uncle Bernie, you might have great breath. So I apologize. We're just speculating here. Speaking of Uncle Bernie. In fact, this is a great segue.
Okay, I'm really confused where this is going to go.
What state is Uncle Bernie Sanders a senator for?
Oh, man.
Vermont.
Thank you.
Vermont.
I feel like you just kind of embarrassed me in front of everybody.
No, I didn't, because I saw you about to mouth it and I just interrupted before you even said it. I do remember when we had to fly out of Burlington, Vermont, I asked a couple people in the airport, I was like, do you see Uncle Bernie come through here a lot?
Did they look at you and rolled their eyes?
I just thought it would be so cool to see him. But anyway, Vermont, for the first time ever, actually shut ski resorts down on a Saturday. Why?
Too much snow, too cold, too windy, too icy.
Too cold. The high at Jay Peak, Vermont, which, by the way, has almost had 300 inches of snow fall already this year. The high was going to be -10 at the base.
So what's happening right now, is this sort of defeating all of the global warming is coming and our planet is melting because we're seeing so much chill? Is this a sign? I mean, I'm guessing the people who believe in global warming, and I'm not saying I don't believe in global warming. I'm just saying like the advocates of global warming are probably saying like, no, this is an effect of global warming. It's causing these crazy weather turns. I don't know. Am I making that argument?
Well, I think well, obviously, there's always global warming and global cooling just throughout the natural cycle of the Earth. The big debate is whether our overuse of fossil fuels and putting all the CO2 and carbon monoxide in the air, is that trapping heat more than what would normally happen during the Earth cycle. That's been debated a lot. I think there's a lot of proof that it probably is doing it. I don't think just burning fossil fuels in general, if we have alternatives, is probably the best thing for any of us. So we should probably try to clean up the air as much as possible. I've been in China a lot, and I've seen what bad air looks like, and it's not all that fun. And by the end of the day, you don't feel all that well, that's for sure. But I think there's definitely a jet stream change that occurred this year. It's probably a one-off. It's probably not a trend, but it's brought a lot of really vicious weather to some parts of the country. And then in areas where there should be a lot of vicious, tough weather, like say Colorado or Utah and the mountains of even the Sierra Nevadas, which haven't gotten any snow in probably almost a month. It's very unique where, you have 300 inches of snow falling at Jay Peak, but I think right now at Park City, there's only been 83 inches of snow, and it's usually probably the reverse.
And right now in Park City, if I may, it's the last Sundance Film Festival, yes?
Wow, great segue.
Yeah, thank you.
Again,
Thank
did
you.
we have this all mapped out?
Nope, not this one.
I'm just going to, we are getting really good at this. I'm feeling more and more like we could be doing the Stranger Things radio tower, because we just know how to run this.
Is that what you're aspiring to?
Yes, 100%. So, Park City was the host of the Sundance Film Festival, which if people aren't aware, they probably have heard of what that was. They probably know that Robert Redford was actually involved in starting it. They might even know that there's actually a ski resort called Sundance in, I believe, Sundance, Utah. But that is not where the Sundance Film Festival has ever been. It's always been in Park City, Utah.
And it is okay. Let me pause you for a second. During the film festival, which is held in Park City, not in Sundance, is that a really big ski time? Like, does the mountain anticipate big sales akin to your Christmas, your New Year's, your ski week? Or is it just a, hey, hit or miss, the agents and the celebrities may go skiing in between the movies and the parties?
Okay, so for the area of Park City, there is no more lucrative time than to bolt out of your condo or house and rent it to the people of Hollywood that come into town. Because those
more than Christmas, more than New Year's, more than ski week.
Yes, way more than all of that.
And I should probably tell the listeners, for those who don't know, ski week. It's something that a lot of the Southern California schools do. Like Manhattan Beach does it. It's a week off right around President's Day, and we call it ski week because all the families basically bolt and we head to the mountains, whether it's Mammoth or Montana or Park City or Deer Valley or blah 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 blah. So it's ski week.
Yeah, we actually had it. We didn't have it growing up down at the Benjamin School in Palm Beach County, but we did have it where I went to high school, Glastonbury High School. Shout out to Glastonbury, Connecticut. We did have a ski week like we do out here. So I think it varies state to state or school district.
I wanted to be inclusive for the people who listen to us in what was our new territory that we just picked up?
Oh, New Zealand and Australia.
Yeah,
well,
it's
it's
dead.
It's the dead of summer down there right now.
I know.
In fact, it's been so hot that I believe they canceled a couple of the Australian tennis open matches because the temperatures are very, very hot.
Yikes. Well, then that's global warming.
But we were talking about Sundance, and Sundance is interesting for the people that have heard about it, maybe seen the photos, the paparazzi stuff or whatever, and know that it has something to do with the movie business. It does. It's essentially where the independent film world, where you make movies, say like like a Clerks or a Usual Suspects, or
were those Sundance films?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Or like our movie Chappaquiddick, or like the movie that we just made, Bad Counselors. Like, these are independent films that aren't a part of the major studio system, which now includes Apple, Amazon, and Netflix. So if you make an independent film, you take them to these markets, Sundance being one of the big ones. And for 2 weeks, everybody's screening movies for all these different buyers, not just here in the United States, but also around the world. These buyers are distributors. Some of them are distributors that are attached directly to movie chains, theater chains, and some are distributors that sell to theater chains, to streamers, to different cable and broadcasts and all that kind of stuff in countries around the world. And you'll hear of movies that maybe were made, say, for $5 million that sell for $20 million. And then also there's a lot of movies that are made for $5 million that don't sell to anybody. And that's the movie business. It's a gunslinging type of...
Can you give me examples of both? Like recent examples?
Well, I mean, I can tell you our movie Chappaquiddick, which we made, which debuted at the Toronto Film Festival in...
Is that the same thing?
2017.
And
yeah,
I know
very
it's
similar.
not in the same location, so no, it's not the same thing, but it's the same premise, right?
Yes.
Make a movie, sell it to a market.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. We made that movie for roughly $13 million, and it sold for $16 million. So... yeah, it was
little profit.
A little bit of a profit. Happy Texas was one with...
Happy Texas? What's that? Never
that
heard
was
of it.
the first huge sale in Sundance. Back when I was a William Morris agent, I would say maybe in, say, 1999 or 2000. That was the biggest sale ever. I think it was a movie that was made for, say,
Did
$3
it ever
million
come
bucks.
out?
It did come out. It didn't do that well, but I think it was made for $3 million. It sold for like $12 million.
Who's in it?
Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh,
with
that
Steve
was
Carell.
with Steve
That sold for a
Carell.
lot of money.
Was that Abigail Bresner? Was that
I think
the
it
celebrity?
was Breslin.
Breslin, something like that. Sure.
Yeah. So, so people go, and it's also a see and be seen place. Like, not everybody's a distributor or a filmmaker. There's a lot of influencers there, a lot of brands there, actors, all that kind of stuff. But this is the last year it's actually going to take place in Park City, Utah.
Where's it going?
They're moving it to Boulder, Colorado next year.
And that, I mean, Boulder is beautiful, but do you think it will have the same sexy allure as a Park City?
Boulder is a very cool town.
I'm not saying
it
it's
has,
not.
What it has is more of an infrastructure to handle. Like,
Is that why they're moving it?
yeah, so Sundance, you're literally going. They try to set up screening rooms anywhere they can. I mean, there's only a handful of like single screen theaters in Park City, and then they have, like, I've seen movies at the high school library. I've seen,
way.
Yep, I've
That's
seen
so cool.
movies, and like there's a museum like there that has screens. There's like a bingo parlor that has, it's just wherever they can get a screen, they have it. Boulder obviously has multiplexes.
Sure.
It has various other things. It has more hotels, more places to stay. Although it will have the chaos of having a full-blown massive university there in session while it's going on. So it'll be interesting to see how
Although
it does.
maybe that's volunteers to help work the event.
I think that will 100% be. I'm sure Colorado, I'm not aware of the film school there, but I'm sure they have a thriving one, and it'll probably be a great opportunity for a lot of those kids to get a little taste of Hollywood.
Yeah.
So let's talk about our serious subject, empty nesting.
We are empty nesters.
We are.
I said that with a little bit of a sigh. No, it's actually not. It's really a remarkable thing. I love it. I do miss my children.
Oh, well, that's supposed to miss children, empty nesting.
No, I do miss my children today.
Miss children, empty nesting.
Sundays are the day that we really try to regroup as a family because we are all spread out. Dylan in Montreal, Kaylee in New Orleans, and us here in Manhattan Beach. And we try and have a FaceTime. Sometimes it works out that we have a family FaceTime, and we had that family FaceTime today, and it was so fun.
It is fun, although I do feel like it's a bit of a, like, knucklehead convention too at the same time.
Well, you couldn't figure out the FaceTime. So let's start with you being part of the knucklehead convention.
Okay, well,
you were like that old man who's like, how do you work the phone?
First of all, I had just gotten up from a nap. Thank you, empty nesting.
Okay.
Empty nesting nap. There's nothing better than I'm sure many people know what I'm talking about, especially guys in their 50s. Like you get that 30-minute nap of like drool coming down your mouth and these weird like fun dreams that you can't really remember when you wake up, but you just feel like you got a refreshment. Vacation of the mind.
Does 30 minutes not make you tired? I feel like for me personally, 30 minutes would put me out for the night, meaning I would just wake up and be all like sleepy and groggy. I like an 18-minute nap.
I feel like the longest nap I've had since my single days, maybe even going back to college, is probably an hour. I remember in college vividly getting like 2 or 3 hour naps in. I have no idea how I did that.
And you probably took the nap at 8 o'clock at night, right? And it was an 8 to 10 and then you went out. I guess,
yeah. I mean, actually, I do remember going skiing in Mammoth and getting off the slopes at like, getting to to wherever we were staying, some condo, and crashing from like 4:30 to 6:30 and then taking a shower and going out.
That's an early go out.
Well, it's ski town.
Still pretty early, I think.
No, but then we go to like these crazy bars. It was, Whiskey Creek. And I remember it was at altitude and they'd have these bands. And of course, it's always like 5-to-1 guy to girl ratio up there. I mean, this was back in the late 90s, early 2000s. No, probably late 90s. And I do remember like people farting.
Well, it's like an airplane.
It was terrible. It was super fun, but every once in a while you got I want to say a waft, not a swath, a waft of somebody's
Not to be confused
butt.
with the word of the day.
It was terrible, like altitude butt. And I remember one time the band actually stopped playing. Somebody was
it was that
somebody
bad?
was farting so bad, and the lead singer said, "Whoever is farting must leave, or we are going to stop playing for the night." And everybody looked around. Oh, so funny. Anyway, empty nesting. So I think we haven't really talked about the difference. So
spring semester to me feels a little longer, and I don't know the days. We could probably do a side-by-side comparison. But with the fall semester, there's a little bit of the anticipation, especially for first-time empty nesting parents like us, where you drop your kids off. And you, in the summer, already have many visits planned. I mean, working backwards, you know
don't have many visits planned.
Hold on. Working backwards, you know that they're going to come home for the holidays. So
for
you
Thanksgiving.
Have that. No. I'm going to say for like Christmas, New Year's. They're going to come home for that. You know they're going to come home for Thanksgiving.
Right.
Traditionally, there's a parents' weekend built into the fall semester. So that's already 3 times in one semester that you're guaranteed to see your kid.
Well, wait a minute. So summer and the holidays being Christmas that time are sort of the same thing, right? When it comes to the spring. So what the difference is, the difference would be the Thanksgiving. You definitely get the Thanksgiving that you don't have that in the spring semester.
No, you also don't have a built-in parents weekend.
Right.
Although
So that's
if your kids do a fraternity or sorority, oftentimes you do have parents weekend. So like for us, our daughter's sorority is having a parents' weekend in March. So that is an opportunity to see her that
we're allowed to do without looking like helicopter parents.
Totally. And
right?
like with Dylan, we saw him a lot in the fall semester because he was playing a sport.
We went to go watch the games.
Yes.
And you know what? That's not helicopter parenting. We're going to watch the games. And frankly, we said, hey, we're going to watch the games. If you want to hang out, have dinner or whatever, great, let us know. But we're going back, and we love all the parents that
we had the
parents
best time.
Of the kids, and it was great.
We made like a whole family with a lot of the freshman parents. It was awesome.
Exactly. And we made good friends with his roommate.
I know. I love Hudson.
Hudson's the man. And Hudson likes to hang with us. So that's
totally.
sort of
cool. So that's, I think, the biggest difference. I know, and we talked about this a few episodes ago, once both kids left. when they head back to school in January, there's a little of the, when am I going to see you again? I mean, spring break is not an automatic come back home. It's not like it's not like a Thanksgiving or Christmas where you spend it with family. Typically, they're off with their fraternities, their sororities, their friends, whatever it is. So it's not a guarantee.
No, it's 100% not a guarantee, and it should actually really be not even in the thought of any parent other than if you happen to live in an area that a lot of kids would be like, oh, that would be a good place to go for spring break. Because then, and I remember it, and I might have brought it up on a podcast before, but my freshman year, we went to a friend of ours who had a really nice place in Coral Gable or Coconut Grove, Miami, Florida. And what was great about that is none of us really had any money, so you could go stay with, this wealthy family that was going to feed you and provide alcohol, and they chartered a boat for us to go fishing, and we had all that stuff so we could do it on budget, and his parents were thrilled that we did it. Now we offered the same thing. We extended
that to our son in particular, who is in negative 12 degrees winter right now. And I think his friends are biting.
Exactly.
And in a good way.
And it was probably the friends that might have driven it because, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure Dylan will be like, really? Do we have to go home? Although he does, of both of our kids, he, I think, will say more so than Kaylee. He really likes the house we moved to, even though it's it's a little further from where he went to high school. And by further, I should tell people it's 3 minutes further. Like we didn't move to a new town. It's just in a different area of the town, but we are much closer to the beach. So I think he loves being able to walk upstairs, take a look at the ocean, be like, hey, Dad, you want to go for a surf session?
Yeah, it feels like a house on vacation, and that's why we got it, and we felt like maybe it would draw the kids back for holidays, or at least maybe their friends, or maybe just Hudson. Who knows? As long as it's a magnet to bring some friends back into our empty nesting lifestyle, it's great.
We don't mean that creepy.
No, definitely not. But so anyway, we talked, so we have these empty nesting conversations on Sunday, and this one was about what are everybody's plans for the summer, who needs help figuring out the internship thing, what phone calls can we possibly help with, although this is your situation. Yes, you got to figure it out, right?
Yes, and look, we are guilty. We have certainly opened the doors for our children.
Yes.
But they do the work on their own. They're the ones that are driving the emails. They may say to us, hey, what do you think about this response? And, I've edited a text that Dylan has sent, or I've reminded Kaylee, like, hey, make sure you reach out to your boss from last summer and let her know that you're interested in working there again.
Yes. And then we've also had some good leads where we thought, okay, well, this one maybe will happen. But then as you find out, like, HR has a bunch of different mouths to feed. There's, you can follow up, you can talk to, whoever the senior person is that you may have met through mom and dad, or maybe met through lacrosse or through some job or whatever it is. But there's only so much they can do if there's not a slot. So you always need to think about, well, what's the backup plan to that? And what's the backup plan to that? And then on top of it, it is a little logistics situation. You want to think of, well, if I'm in a different town, am I going to know some people that might know some people that maybe I can find an apartment with for a few days to sublet? How do I get around? Do I need to drive my car out there, or can I rely on somebody else that's got the transpo, or is it in a city where I can walk around? So it's fascinating.
It is fascinating.
Makes you want to do it yourself again, right?
Kind of, yeah.
I know,
because it's look, I hate things that are not planned out. I mean, that is something that totally freaks me out and spins me. But there is a little bit of this allure of being young and hungry and just experiencing a whole new world every single summer, every single school year, right? Whether you're a freshman, you're a sophomore, it's all brand new. Going abroad, studying. We do travel and we do these new experiences, but we're old.
Well, the other thing too is that we learned so much by the time we're our age, where you're going, okay, well, okay, if this is what they want to do, I'll figure out all the logistics, all the operating type of parts to this equation so that they can pop right in and do it. But the fact is, a lot of this stuff you want them to sort of figure out on their own. Like
Okay,
you can
you
say,
say
hey,
that.
by the way, no, but you can guide them and just say, okay, it looks like this internship's going to come through. It looks like it's in this city. Do you have some ideas of where you would want to live? Do you know people in that area? Are you going to be with anybody that you know that might be able to help out with that? Are there colleges in the area? Because there's probably subletting that goes on. Can you live in a fraternity house that you're in, or a sorority house that you're in that's on that campus, which is something that I did. One of the beauties of being a part of the Greek system, right, is that you have that
I don't
access.
know if they still allow that, but
They 100% allow it. I
you
promise
pose these
you.
questions. If your parents pose them to you, were you capable after your freshman year of college of answering all of them and figuring it out yourself?
My parents never had the chance because I already knew what I was doing every summer, and I already.
Is that a humble brag?
No, but I just back then parents didn't like, and I had great parents, but they weren't like catering to all the different stuff. They were just sort of like, hey, you should figure out what you're doing in the summer. So like one summer I decided to start a painting house company with a guy, and I stayed in Glastonbury, Connecticut, which by the way, I still regret. As you know, I was invited to Airborne Army ROTC training school, which I turned down because I just wanted to hang out and drink beers and pal around with my buddies, which, by the way, was fantastic.
I'm
but
sure it was.
That would have been an adventure I should have done. And then my sophomore year, I was like, I'm bolting. I'm going down to Florida to stay with all my buddies from junior high and elementary school, and I'm going to paint houses and work construction. So that's what I did, which, by the way, was the hottest job it was so
Not hot, sexy, hot
no,
as in
it was
like
hot,
you were sweltering and sweaty.
Although it was really fun too. That was a great summer. And then Cornell sort of decided what I had to do the between junior and senior year summer.
Was that stay and do extra
It was
classes?
like, if you want to graduate on time in engineering, it used to be a 5-year program. Now it's a 4-year program. And quite frankly, because you played football for, freshmen and started, the JV process, you only took a handful of classes, during that time. And you need to stay for a summer and get 2 more classes in. And that's what I did, which, by the way, was one of the greatest summers of my life.
I'm sure it was.
Other than the summers I spent with you.
We did meet in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
We met right after I graduated college.
Oh, that's true.
Right? Because I was supposed to stay in New York.
We met on New Year's Eve.
Well, we met on New Year's Eve, but we re-met again at William Morris, which is where my dad, he helped me get an interview, and I then landed an assistant job. And I think it was one of my first weeks that I was working at William Morris. We were in the same building. We were on the same floor, and we met again in the hallway. It was the summer.
And you just chased me around like a puppy dog.
You say that. And I think anybody that knows either one of us is like, he's lying.
Anyway.
Right. But so I had graduated at that point and I didn't have it figured out. My dad still had to help me. So I understand what you're asking our kids to do, but I just don't know if it's reasonable or rational, at least the summer after their freshman year.
I think we can ask the questions about, hey, here are the things that you should be thinking about. Are you able to pull this off on your own? Because we know both of our kids have a relative independence that they like and find valuable, and also want to be seen
and
as
I'm
having.
I'm going to pat us on the back for that, because I think we instilled that in them.
We have, and we also got lucky too.
Fair.
There's great parents out there with kids that are just, a mess, and then there's bad parents out there with kids that are fantastic. So it's a luck of the draw, but I do think we did a good job creating our own luck.
Fair.
And that's a shout out, a testament to Kaylee and Dylan. So thank you guys for being good kids.
Kaylee told us a really sad story today.
What?
Were you on the phone at that
No, I
point?
don't think so.
She's like, Mom, you actually should be thanking me because I'm a really good daughter. And I was like, okay, tell me. She's like, this story. And she told a story. There was a girl at Tulane who forgot to call her dad, I think, on his birthday. And it made me really sad. And then something happened to the grandma on the birthday, on like the dad's birthday. And this girl didn't call her dad at all. And she's like, see, I at least call you guys. And I'm like, thank goodness. Yes, you win.
Yeah, not calling your parent on their birthday is probably not a great idea.
No, that's something where a sibling, an aunt, a mom or a dad should sort of tag the kids and just remind them like, hey, do you remember what tomorrow is?
100%.
That's a little bit of guidance, I think.
Well,
I mean, I even do that to you. I'm like, hey, remember it's your parents' anniversary this week.
well,
Because I keep a calendar. I mean, I keep those dates, and I'm good at that stuff.
yeah, and I am going to. Well, I do remember my dad, my freshman year, telling me that you can't just show up Thanksgiving, and that's the first time you talk to your mom since you left for college.
Which is what I did.
Yeah,
and that was not
bad.
okay.
So
No.
I stopped that. And by the way, shout out to my parents. I'm going to go try to see them hopefully here coming up, working those logistics out because they are on the other side of the country and I need to go see them.
But we put a contract in place for our kids, and one of the requirements on top of a certain GPA was they had to contact us a certain number of times a week, right? We needed the proof of life via text every day. I want to make sure that they're not like locked up in a basement. And then we would do a FaceTime or a telephone call once a week, and that happens to be our Sundays. Ooh, is that a helicopter flying by?
Yeah, we just had two military copters with no lights on just went by.
I wonder if people can hear it.
Those are the big choppers too.
Uh-oh. What does that mean?
Well, hopefully that doesn't mean Kim Jong-un and the North Korean.
Oh, you know what song's in my head
Navy
again?
is coming this
It's
way.
the end of the world as we know it.
Okay, well, listen, on that note, I think we should close up a Sunday edition of... Wait, what is the name of the show? It's called Plate and Ponder. Empty Nesting with Jen and Chris Fenton. We do want to give a shout out once again to the Oceania region of the world. Thank you. Thank you, New Zealand and Australia. And yes, we will start to get these things on video for those who love watching at least one beautiful woman and a guy sitting next to her who's playing above the rim. Oh, yes. And our puppy, who, by the way, did not eat his poo today while we were recording.
You know what? Thank goodness for small miracles.
Anyway, so we are the show that you need to review, you need to download, follow, and enjoy. And until next time,
Good night.
thank you again for listening.